You know that sound, that sharp, high-pitched ringing that shows up even when everything else is quiet? You finally get a moment of peace, no background noise or distractions, and instead of silence, your ears serve up a sound that isn't there. No one else can hear it, but you can't escape it. If you're experiencing this, you know just how disorienting and isolating it can be. That phantom noise has a name, tinnitus, and believe it or not, it's not a modern issue. For thousands of years, humans have been haunted by the same invisible enemy, and we've tried everything to fight it. But what if I told you that you're part of a battle that's been raging for millennia? This isn't some new fight. We have records of this struggle that are nearly 4,000 years old. From Mesopotamian priests chanting at a whispering ear to Roman scholars prescribing bizarre concoctions, humanity has been desperately fighting a war against this invisible enemy. I'm Dr. Lane Garrett, founder of Timpanogos Hearing and Tinnitus in Utah, and today I'm going to share the story of that war against tinnitus, a journey from magic to medicine, revealing the shocking remedies of the past and the scientific breakthroughs that are finally giving us hope for a future of silence. Let's head back in time to the cradle of civilization where the first shots in this long war were fired. On ancient Mesopotamian clay tablets, we find some of the earliest known records of this struggle. They believed tinnitus came in three forms: the singing, the speaking, and the whispering of the ear. Their weapons weren't scalpels or prescriptions, they were incantations and chants dedicated to Ea, the god of water, begging for relief from the noise. Travel west to ancient Egypt and the battle gets even more mystical. Ebers Papyrus, one of the oldest medical texts in existence, describes a cure for the bewitched ear, though some historians debate the exact translation. The Egyptians seemed to believe that people with tinnitus were cursed. The treatment was a complex potion of infused oil, frankincense, tree sap, herbs, and even soil, all poured into the ear through a reed stalk. Imagine the desperation lying there while a physician poured a mixture of earth and sap in your ear, just praying it would lift the curse and finally silence the noise. The Greeks and Romans tried to bring a little logic to the fight. They were the first to start connecting tinnitus to different causes. The great thinker Aristotle was the first to describe a basic form of sound therapy. He asked, why is it that buzzing in the sound ceases if one makes a sound? Is it because a greater sound drives out the less? It was a revolutionary idea, a flicker of scientific light in an age of superstition. But that light was quickly overshadowed by the dominant medical theory of the time, the humoral theory. This theory claimed that the body was governed by four fluids, or humors: blood, phlegm, black bile, and yellow bile. Any disease, including tinnitus, was just an imbalance of these fluids. So if your ears were ringing, a Roman physician might prescribe a whole list of strange remedies to restore balance: gargling, vigorous exercise, or pouring radish and cucumber juice mixed with honey and vinegar into your ear. In more extreme cases, they turned to bloodletting, believing that draining blood would relieve the pressure causing the sound. You could almost picture it, a man gripping the edge of a wooden table as a physician slices his arm, hoping a few ounces of blood will quiet the chaos in his ears. These weren't just strange rituals, they were desperate acts by people who couldn't bear the silence of their own minds. As the Roman Empire fell and the world entered into the Middle Ages, the battle against tinnitus, well, it got even weirder. The scientific observations of the Greeks were mostly lost and replaced once again by superstition and folk remedies. People wore amulets and talismans hoping to ward off the evil spirits they believed caused those phantom sounds. The treatments became even more bizarre. One Welsh remedy from the period recommended taking a hot loaf of bread, splitting it in two, and pressing it against both ears, as hot as one could stand, hoping to literally sweat out the affliction. During the Renaissance, a new theory emerged, though it wasn't any less strange. Some doctors believed tinnitus was caused by wind that had become trapped inside the ear, swirling around endlessly. Their proposed solution was terrifyingly direct: surgery. The idea was to use a tube to drill a hole into the mastoid bone behind the ear to release the trapped air. It was a brutal and misguided concept, but it marked the first time surgery was really considered as a weapon in this war against tinnitus. It wasn't until the 19th century that a French physician named Jean-Marie Gaspard Itard began to steer the fight back towards science. He made several key observations that we still recognize today. He was the first to systematically note that most tinnitus is associated with hearing loss, and that a doctor's job was to make the condition less unbearable, often through the use of masking sounds. And yet for the next century, progress stalled. The 20th century saw the development of the first electronic masking devices, but for millions of people, the main treatment was just some grim advice from their doctors: just learn to live with it. One man recalled hearing those words at 27 years old. He said, "I left the office feeling like I'd been handed a life sentence. No plan, just deal with it." For many, those 5 words became the moment that hope evaporated. For thousands of years, humanity fought the war on tinnitus on the wrong battlefield. We aimed our weapons, our chants, our potions, our drills at the ear. But in the late 20th and early 21st century, a revolution in neuroscience changed everything. Advanced imaging like fMRI and PET scans let us see the battlefield with new eyes, and we discovered a shocking truth. For most people, severe tinnitus isn't an ear problem, it's a brain problem. So where does this phantom sound actually come from? The modern thinking is that it's often a side effect of hearing loss. When those delicate hair cells in our inner ear get damaged by noise, aging, or medication, they stop sending signals for certain frequencies to the brain. The brain, noticing this sudden silence, tries to compensate. In a process called neuroplasticity, the auditory cortex, the brain's sound processing center, basically turns up its own internal amplifier to search for the missing signal. What it finds is the background noise of its own neural activity. It amplifies the static, this random firing of neurons, and serves it up to your consciousness as a distinct sound, a ringing, a buzzing, or a hiss. Your brain literally creates a phantom sound to fill the void. It's a glitch in the system, a brain caught in a relentless feedback loop. I had one patient tell me that when she learned this, that it was weirdly comforting. She thought I was going crazy, but knowing it was my brain trying to help, it gave me something to work with. That knowledge alone became a turning point in her battle against tinnitus. This discovery has completely transformed our arsenal. We've gone from pouring strange oils in the ear to literally retraining the brain. One of the most important modern strategies is cognitive behavioral therapy, or CBT. Now, CBT won't make the ringing vanish, but it gives your brain a new playbook for the battlefield. How does that work, you ask? Well, CBT helps break the vicious cycle where the sound triggers anxiety and the anxiety makes the sound louder. It retrains your brain to see the ringing not as a threat, but as something neutral, like the hum of a refrigerator that you can learn to ignore. Then there's the frontier of neuromodulation. Devices like Linear, which received approval from the FDA, uses a technique called bimodal neuromodulation. It works by combining sound played through headphones with mild electrical impulses delivered to the tongue. This dual stimulation helps the brain retrain its auditory pathways, reducing the brain's hyperactivity and, over time, turns down the volume of the tinnitus. Studies have shown that a significant majority of participants experienced real, meaningful improvement with linear bimodal neuromodulation. Other approaches like tinnitus retraining therapy use a combination of counseling and sound therapy over a longer period of time to help the person's brain get used to the sound and make it a non-issue in their daily life. The fight against tinnitus is far from over. Organizations like the American Tinnitus Association are leading the charge, funding critical research and developing a roadmap to a cure. They work to educate doctors so that the "just live with it" is replaced with real evidence-based treatment plans. If you want to keep up with the latest breakthroughs on the front lines of this scientific war against tinnitus, subscribe and hit that notification bell. We'll be here exploring the new ideas and stories of human ingenuity that are shaping our future in tinnitus care. The war against tinnitus has stretched across centuries, through chants, potions, and even surgery. But today, we finally have tools rooted in science that can truly help people take back their peace of mind. If you're watching this in northern Utah, remember you don't have to fight this battle alone. At Timpanogos Hearing and Tinnitus, we specialize in tinnitus care. As a modern tinnitus specialty center, our approach combines modern testing, brain-based therapies, and personalized treatment plans designed to quiet the noise and help you focus on what really matters in life. If you're curious to learn more, our Learning Center is a great place to start. You'll find free guides, videos, and resources that explain today's best treatment options in plain language. And if you're ready to take the next step, we'd love to meet you. Schedule an appointment on our website, and together we'll create a plan to bring a more calm and quiet back into your world. Links can be found below. The fight against tinnitus isn't over, but for the first time in history, we have real hope. And for many of our patients, that hope starts now.